Hey everyone, I'm Danny K. Dank, and this is behind the scenes of Season 3 of Honk Your Horn, the first 5 episodes. Alright, let's get into Episode 4. Episode 4 opens with the very first scene we ever shot for this season, which is Dan and Vader having breakfast. And this was in December, so pretty much a year ago. And this was actually in Arizona, not in Palm Springs, even though it's supposed to take place in Palm Springs. My parents were in town, so I went to go visit them for Christmas. We also have family in Scottsdale, as I may have mentioned earlier, so I went to go stay with them, and I mimicked this hotel as if it was in Palm Springs. This is why planning ahead is so crucial. Because I had already knew that this was going to happen, and this is the perfect time to do it, as opposed to going out and spending my own money on a hotel. I got lucky and got to use a free one for me. That's also how we ended episode 3, them coming into the hotel. But the first scene was the breakfast scene. Then we go into the pool scene, I believe, afterwards, after the credits roll. And it was very awkward because it was in the morning and no one was really up, which is really why I wanted to get there. I wanted to get to the pool before it started getting crowded and I couldn't really get good audio or even a spot to film it at. But one of the hotel staff was kind of looking at me weird the whole time that I was filming this, and I'm like, I better get this done now, because either he's going to come over and tell me that I can't be doing this, or he's just curious as to what in the world I'm doing. Who walks around with a Darth Vader doll? No offense, Vader. But we got it. My lines were kind of quiet, but I mean, it's supposed to be morning anyway, so made sense. I did one setup, recorded it, did like 3 different versions of it, and then I did the jump in the pool. And yes, I actually jumped in the pool. That was not a sound effect. And yes, that pool was very cold. But you gotta do what you gotta do when you're making a show. It was probably heated, but at that time of morning, it was very cold. The shower scene was way too good, way too funny. Hum a tune, and of course make it sound like it's the Cantina band, and then make a joke about there not being any shampoo. Vader using shampoo. I don't recall if I was actually naked for this shot. I think I wore shorts, but it really didn't matter because I knew that the shot was only going to show my feet. Then the driving stuff. Interesting enough, we were on a very big time crunch to get these scenes. The driving scene, stopping at In-N-Out, because the car was going bad. I had taken it in for repair. There was a noise coming from the engine. I'm like, I'm not going to take any chances with this thing. I'm going to need to get rid of it. But I still have more to shoot. This is where the creative thinking came in, because I'm turning in this car, but Dan and Vader are still supposed to have this car in the layout / script that I wrote. So I had to improvise, rearrange things, think of a new plan. But also, now that I got this new plan, I gotta film all this stuff before I turn the car in, or before the car all of a sudden craps out on me. So it was kind of a rush, but I also knew that I at least have this day to do it, but it has to be done today. And then I thought to myself, what's the new solution here? Or what's the new thing that's going to happen here? And that is, the car's going to break down again. But it's not just going to break down, it's going to go bad to where Dan and Vader can't drive this car, which is how that came about. That was not originally planned. It was originally planned that Dan and Vader were going to get into a serious argument in the car to where they just stop. Dan just stops the car, gets out of the car, and just leaves. Like, very frustrated. But because of the situation with the car, there just wasn't time to film all that. And I needed to get rid of the car in real life. So I filmed it as if it broke down again and this car's no good anymore. The in and out scene had to happen because it's the West Coast vibes. I can't do a road trip and not have them stop at In-N-Out. That had to happen. And it looked good because in the background you can see the In-N-Out logo. So you know I was actually filming at an actual In-N-Out. And that was just me just looking up an In-N-Out on my way to where I was trying to go. Because I knew that I wanted them to break down and make it look like it was in the middle of the desert, even though it kind of wasn't. The wear and tear that I did on my luggage, those wheels are kind of stiff from all this sand / dirt. It was very hot that day. My phone was overheating. So I had to do a lot of extra takes, do a lot of record and hurry up, because when my phone overheats or if it's just hot, it has a 30-second limit and then it just stops. How did I fix that or try to get around it? Well, when I wasn't filming, honestly, I would put my hat over the phone to shade it. Little tidbit for you iPhone film makers. Put a hat over your iPhone so it doesn't overheat. And it might still overheat, but it'll at least reduce the amount of heat and sun hitting it. The fall was, I don't know. It wasn't that great. I wanted a better fall. But when you're all alone in the desert, there's a lot of things that can poke you. I did get poked by some plant that I was walking by in one of my takes. And it hurt for a good week. You just gotta be careful. It wasn't worth risking to fall and actually destroy my knee. I'm like, this is my web show. I'm the only one here. Do it as best you can, but be careful. And I did. That last shot, so depressing. Dan on his knees, head down, fade to black. I actually hid the car in the background. I think if you look hard enough, you can see a little bit of red. I'd have to go back and look again, but I think you can see the car if you look hard enough. But other than that, those bushes in the background really blocked it.